What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Alright, so this is the situation we have right here. This is Tropical Storm Darby out in the Pacific Ocean right here. It is continuing to strengthen as we continue to go through it. This is the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center. Maximum sustained winds have increased to 60 miles per hour. Additional strengthening is forecast during the next couple of days. And Darby is forecast to become a hurricane by tonight or early Monday. Tropical storm force winds extend out 45 miles from the center, and the pressure has dropped to 1,002 millibars. It was 1,006 in the last video, so we're going to have to continue to pay attention to it as time goes on. We have the cone pulled up right here. It is expected to strengthen to a hurricane by 2 a.m. Monday. It's 5 a.m. Sunday at local time. It's expected to strengthen either late Sunday or early Monday. So we're going to have to pay attention to this as time continues to go on. And then it's expected to continue that. It's expected to remain a hurricane for the next 3 days, and then weaken down to tropical storm status by Thursday. The maximum sustained winds, according to the National Hurricane Center, are at 90 miles per hour. I think that's a little bit high, but we'll have to go through the track's intensity first. Like, if we take a look at the track models right here, same cone area, the models are getting more and more concentrated, although I am seeing two discrete patterns right here. The first pattern has just moving due west, basically moving due west where it is now. The other concentrated area is that this thing is going to move to the west for the next 3 days, then start moving to the west-northwest, and then back to the west, which could put it about 100 miles or so to the north, which if it does that, and we take a look at the global sea temperatures, that will move it into cooler waters and weaken it quicker, which considering its proximity to the Hawaiian Islands, it's still a far ways away. And there were some modeling before having this the outer bands impacting Hawaii, which, considering that we're several days out, well, it's too early for me to really say anything. The intensity models are also interesting right here. The latest have come in. We have the intensity models all having a Category 1. A very vast majority of them have it as a Category 1 hurricane. NHC has it at 90, which is the peak of these areas. I think that's once again a little high, considering that there's going to be cooler water temperatures in the next couple of days, and there's going to be wind shear that's going to start tearing this apart soon after that. My estimation at the maximum cap would be around 85 miles an hour, but that's the absolute cap. I think it's going, at this point, my range is around 70 to 85 miles per hour. I am changing it from 60 to 80 to 70 to 85, considering these new developments, and considering the satellite imagery, which shows this thing continuing to intensify. We can even show you the visible shortwave after the last 30 frames right here. We can show you guys that. Like, you can clearly tell it. This thing is not slowing down its organization. It's not stopping intensifying. Like, you can see even the outer bands are right here are basically just like they're blowing up right here. A bunch of convections going on. Like, so that's the situation we have right here. And I know I've been getting comments asking me, there's shear on the eastern side of this thing. What's going on? Hurricanes and tropical storms are known to create their own shear. And this is what's going on. In fact, if we take a look at the this visible shortwave right here, that supposed shear that they're talking about, it's doing absolutely nothing to it. Like, the structure looks very good. The structure looks very good. It's very well organized. It's getting more organized by the hour, and this thing is continuing to strengthen by the hour. So we're going to have to pay attention to this as time goes on. Let's go ahead and take a look at the model runs. We have several of them lined up for you. We're going to start with the HMON, then we'll get to the GFS, and then we'll get to the HWRF. The HMON is very interesting. Has it going up to a strong tropical storm and potentially a weak hurricane in the next 24 hours. It eventually strengthens up to a 991 millibar Category 1 hurricane, and then it bottoms out again down to 986. And then it starts stagnating, and basically it starts weakening after this. If we take a look at the absolute peak of it, it looks like we could see high-end Category 1 status with this model run right here. But I think, considering the cooler temperatures that it's going to start running into in the next few days, as well as it basically needing to combat that shear once it starts to encounter more of it, I think, once again, 85 is that absolute cap. So we'll go ahead and go to the GFS right here. The GFS is also an interesting run right here. We have this, we'll backtrack this real quickly. We have this thing strengthening up to a hurricane in the next 18 hours, and then eventually the pressure bottoms out, I think around 989 millibars. Then it starts stagnating and weakening. Around the GFS is estimating around like a 75 to 80 mile per hour hurricane right here, which seems like an interesting run. This is the moderate mile run out of all of these that we're taking a look at right here. Now we're going to go ahead and go to the H-Wharf. Usually the H-Wharf is the most aggressive model, but if we take a look at the latest mile runs right here, the H-Wharf is actually not the most aggressive. It's sure it's on the higher end of it, but the most aggressive models are the OFCI, as shown right here, and the LGEM. So the H-Wharf is usually, once again, the most aggressive. Now it's not, but let's get back into this. Hurricane strength in the next 24 hours. The pressure bottoms out around 989 millibars as a high-end Category 1 hurricane right here. Winds at 850, 90 knots, potentially bottoming out down to 85 to 90 miles per hour right here. Then it starts stagnating, and then it starts weakening and moving off as time goes on. So we're going to have to pay attention to this situation as time goes on. Basically how strong this will get will depend on how much fuel this thing will take and how organized this gets at the end of the day. And it's still organizing by the day. It's still organizing by the hour. So everyone needs to pay attention to this. I will continue to update you guys as the situation progresses. But with that being said, it's going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps me out and helps me make more videos like these. The goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather. But with that being said, guys, have a wonderful day. Stay safe.